everyone, it is Tiffy here from Tiffy Cooks and welcome to my first ever official YouTube video. My most highly requested video ever is my kitchen tour, so I thought I would share with you guys what is in my kitchen, what is in my pantry, what's in my fridge, how I store my food, as well as my filming setup. If you guys like this type of video, make sure to click a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will have more videos every Sunday. You guys probably see a lot of my videos filmed here. This is where I do all of my filming, testing recipes, as well as cooking. It's kind of like a mini office for me, but I thought I would show you guys the behind the scenes of, where all of this is happening. I love this apartment a lot because their kitchen is super open concept. There is a lot of storage space, tons of lighting, both natural as well as artificial. And the number one thing that made me fall in love 100% is their double fridge. So I cook a lot, so having a double fridge is super helpful for me to make sure that I'm staying organized, I'm not wasting any food. The way I like to organize my fridge is everything that's supposed to be cooked goes on the left side and everything that's already prepared goes on the right side. So that way, whenever I'm grocery shopping, I know which way to look, I know what other food I need to eat before I kind of cook new food. So we'll start with the left side first. I'll show you guys what is in this fridge. So on this side of the fridge, we have everything that still needs to be prepared. So I got a lot of fresh veggies, some protein, some condiments. You guys probably see this huge jug of Korean chili paste. And I know it seems like a lot, but I love it so much. I can finish this in 2 months. I think I have it almost every single day. Another thing that I always have in the fridge is garlic. So because I cook so much for different recipes, I like to buy pre-peeled garlic and I kind of store them in here. This is a lot of garlic, but this is also done in less than a week and a half. So I do use a lot of garlic with recipe testings and everything. I also have some pre-minced garlic that helps me save a lot of time as well. A lot of people were asking me on Instagram how to keep herbs as fresh as possible. And my tip is to make sure when you bring it back from the grocery, just add it in water. And then I like to replace the water every 2 to 3 days. And this will help your green onions and any herbs to stay fresh a lot longer as well. On the top here, I have all of my fresh vegetables, so I store them on here. And down here, I have all of my protein. Another thing that I love are fresh noodles. So this is the one that I have in the fridge right now, but I always go to my local grocery stores to get fresh noodles. They honestly make such a huge difference, and fresh noodles actually cook a lot faster versus dehydrated noodles as well. So today I had these fresh udon noodles, but then sometimes I'll get some hand-cut noodles, some other different noodles, and I'll kind of leave it in the fridge as well. Now we're gonna move on to the right side of the fridge, which is where I have all of my pre-prepared foods. So because I cook a lot, we got tons of containers here. And on top of that, I always like to have snacks and healthy foods in the fridge. So I always bulk make a lot of my recipes as well. So over here, 2 things that I cannot live without, and I promise I always have in stock, is my homemade chili oil as well as my lemon syrup. I have both of the recipes on my blog, so I'll link it down below if you guys want to try it out, but I always have this in stock. This homemade chili oil tastes good with everything, and by having honey lemon syrup, it prevents me from wasting any lemons, and I can have it in the morning. I just take out a slice with some hot water. Perfect way to start your day. Some more things that I always have in the fridge. So I have some Taiwanese fresh cabbage right here, some Taiwanese cucumber salad. I always make this in bulk every 2 to 3 days. Saves me a lot of time. And I also have some Korean bean sprouts, some marinated eggs, and I also have some sushi here as well that I made. But by having food in the fridge, it really helps me save so much time during lunchtime. All I have to do is just heat up some rice, add on the toppings, and the lunch is ready in less than 5 minutes. Right now, Vancouver is super hot, so I also have a really refreshing drink here. So I have a fresh herbal tea here. Over here, I also have all of my fruits. So we make a lot of drinks in this household, especially in the summer. So I got tons of lime and lemon stocked up. Of course, we gotta have some watermelon and some fresh cherries. Down here, I then have more like salads as well as potatoes. I'm actually gonna make my honey garlic potatoes right after this, and if you guys are interested, that also takes less than 15 minutes, and that's on my blog as well. Saves you tons of time. Like I said, I like to make everything in bulk every 2 to 3 days. That way, let's say if Dom is hungry at night, he can make himself a bowl and I don't have to cook. So we also have a double freezer here. I'm gonna start on the left side over here. So over here, I have all of my homemade goods. So I got tons of homemade dumplings, homemade wontons, as well as some fresh noodles. So those all go on top. Down here, I have my frozen protein, and honestly, I try my best not to get a lot of frozen protein unless it's like shrimp or seafood, because I find that I often forget about them, but we got some frozen shrimp, frozen scallops in here. And then down here, I have more things that I pre-made. So for example, I have some homemade bone broth here. Saves me tons of time. I have some homemade Taiwanese beef noodle soup. And honestly, by having stuff like this, it's good for when I'm craving some home-cooked meals, but I don't feel like cooking. So I have all those down here as well. Over here on the right side of the freezer, so of course I have to have a ice cream as well as snack sections. I don't know if anyone else grew up eating these, but they're honestly so good and so delicious. I also love this freezy. So I'm not a big fan of ice cream and creamy like desserts. I like more so like icy stuff. For this ice yogurt is super delicious. You can get it at local grocery stores. Highly recommend trying this out. I also have some homemade mochi as well as homemade pearls in here as well. So when I'm craving bubble tea, I can just make it. Over here, we have our ice section as well as some of the frozen cat food. So some of the cats eat raw snacks sometimes, so it's frozen in here. And then down here, I have all of my frozen veggies as well as frozen fruits. So this is my instant noodle as well as snack pantry. Some of my favorite instant noodles, obviously, gotta love, I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but migorim. This is really good. I also love Taiwanese beef noodle soup for instant noodles. So I have tons in there. So Taiwanese beef noodle soup. I have some Korean noodles, but I love trying new instant noodles. So whenever there's a new flavor, we gotta go pick it up. This chocolate churro chip is delicious. If you see in the grocery store, they should just grab one. They're always out of stock, but they honestly taste like mini churros that are covered in like chocolate and Nutella, and it's so delicious. It's like life-changing. So definitely go pick one of these up. So over here is my main pantry. So it is also huge. I try my best to keep it as organized as I can, but like everyone else, your pantry can get kind of messy sometimes. So this is kind of how I organize my pantry to make sure that I'm not wasting anything. So on the top are everything that I buy in bulk. So obviously if something that I use really often, if it goes on sale, I will stock up and I'll just put it on the top. On the right are anything that I stocked up for rice as well as noodles. Over here, I have all of my favorite noodles. So I have some soba noodles, some dried white noodles. These are super delicious for like homemade chili oil, some vermicelli. I also have seaweed, rice paper, and curry packs stored here. Down here are spices that are either too big to store in my spice rack or I just don't use them as often. So we have some red bean, dried whole chili, and I also have some dried shiitake mushroom, which adds tons of umami flavor when you are cooking. Down here are actually all the plates that I use really often for food blogging. So the ones that you guys see often on my page, I like to put them here. So not only does it keep them in better condition so I don't break them as easily, I also have a better idea where they are. They're easier to reach. So everything I use often, I put them right here. Down here, I then have all of my flours, rice, as well as cornstarch. So if you are a Taiwanese household, you definitely have cornstarch, rice flour, as well as tapioca starch in your house at all times. It's just super convenient. I got 2 huge buckets of rice. I always make sure that I have rice. That's something that we have every single day. Down here, I have all of my canned goods. And over here, I have more seaweed and snacks. If you are a rice lover like me, all you need is seaweed, rice, some side dishes, and you got the perfect lunch. So over here, I have the rest of my plates as well as bowls. So if you're interested in becoming a food blogger, my #1 tip is to not buy everything in whole sets. So trust me, as time goes by, you're gonna wanna collect more plates and more bowls, and you will kind of get bored of them. So I recommend actually going to your local vintage shops to pick up individual plates, or even like HomeSense, Winners, Target, that have individual plates, and then you can keep them on the side to know which ones are the ones that you really like right now. And that way you don't waste anything and you don't have a huge set that you kind of have to deal with, but that's kind of like a quick tip from me. As you can see, I don't have a lot of kitchen gadgets on my kitchen counter because Personally, I prefer to have a lot of space versus having a lot of gadgets. And even when it comes to gadgets, I try not to buy anything unless it has more than one usage. But some things that I cannot live without. So obviously I have a toaster here. I use this quite often. I have a kettle. Oh, when it comes to my morning smoothies, I just have this like individual usage blend jet. It's really convenient. You can bring it on the go as well, charged by a USB. And one thing that I cannot live without is my rice cooker slash steamer. So this is the 大同 rice cooker. And funny story, when my mom actually immigrated from Taiwan to Canada, she actually carried it on her lap at the airport. That is how much it means to us. And when I moved from Vancouver to Ontario for university, I did the same thing. I had 3 versions of this rice cooker already. It's a great rice cooker and a great steamer. I honestly cannot live without it. You can make so many different recipes from it as well. So if you guys are in the market of looking for a good rice cooker, I highly recommend checking out the 大同 one. I will link it down below if you're interested. So a lot of my videos are filmed here and people are always asking me what tripod do I use to kind of get the shot. And I use a salt shaker. So it's made out of glass, so it's a lot more durable. So all I do is I put my salt shaker right here. I then grab my phone, I put it on top, and this is my filming station. So over here, I have all the spices that I use on a day-to-day basis. So we got 2 racks here. I like to take everything out and put them in individual containers and label it just so that way when I am buying them, I can actually buy them in bulk. You save a lot more money, and that's why I know what is actually out. Some of my favorite spices include Korean red chili flakes, love it. I also cannot live without dashi stock. Dashi stock is super convenient if you want like umami flavor and just instant soup. So I love dashi stock. I also love 5-star as well as spice powder. And in fact, I actually like white pepper a lot more than black pepper. So I always have white pepper in place. But if you are gonna be working with white pepper, just a warning, it's super thin so it goes in your nose really easily, so you will sneeze, but adds great flavor. So down here is where I store all of my condiments. Everything on the left are things that I buy in bulk. I haven't opened, or things I don't use as often. And everything on the right are things that I use on a day-to-day basis. So I do have a top 10 must-have Asian condiment blog post on my page, as well as a video along to where to buy them, why I like them, as well as alternatives. But just kind of give you guys an overall highlight overview. Some of the stuff that I cannot live without. I love Kongyuan black vinegar. It's my favorite brand when it comes to black vinegar. This with homemade chili oil is all you need when it comes to dumplings, my go-to. Another thing that I love, which I have in stock, is some Taiwanese rice wine. This is like some cooking wine. So I use cooking wine a lot when it comes to marinating meat. It also helps the beef become more tender when you marinate it. And it also adds in some flavor as well. And obviously I have all of my Lee Kum Kee soy sauces. So I'm almost out, but I love Lee Kum Kee premium soy sauce, affordable, great quality, easy to access. I also have their dark soy sauce as well, and I have them multiple in bulk on the other side. This is my favorite vegetarian mushroom oyster sauce. So if you can't contain seafood, I find that Wan Jia Xiang has the best vegetarian oyster sauce. It has, on its own, it already makes a really great dipping sauce if you're eating like oyster pancakes or whatever, but I really do love the vegetarian oyster sauce. I use it really often when it comes to marinating meat even, or just using it on its own. And of course we have Lee Kum Kee premium oyster sauce. So that's something that I also have in bulk as well. So this is where I store all of my pots down here. I actually get a lot of my pots from Asian grocery stores. They honestly have really affordable, easy to use pots there. And down here is where I store all of my pan. So I got tons of different versions here, but this is where I store everything. When it comes to overall kitchen tools, it comes over here. So on the bottom are things that I don't use as often. On the top are things that I use on a day-to-day basis. So once again, I get a lot of my tools from local Asian grocery stores. Like this wooden spatula here is my favorite and my go-to, and it was only $4. So definitely go check out your local Asian grocery market to see if they have anything. When it comes to more of my daily usage one though, I do love the Le Creuset set here. The reason why I love it is because you can actually remove the attachment on the top after you use it. And this is actually dishwasher friendly, so I do find that really convenient. A question I get often asked is, do I use a dishwasher or do I hand wash everything? And that depends. If I am just cooking for myself that day, then I will hand wash it. But let's say we are filming and believe it or not, behind the scenes, it gets really messy, then I for sure will use a dishwasher. Okay, so finally it comes to my filming setup. So when it comes to lighting, I normally film in the daytime, so there's a lot of natural light, and then I'll have 2 ring lights on the side, all the lights turned on, including the hallway light as well. But once again, people always ask me, what is my tripod? What is my filming setup? So I film with my iPhone 11 Pro, and when it comes to my filming setup, I have a bottle of wine and a can of cat food. So all I do, I put the cat food here, a bottle of wine, and I put my phone on top. So I know it may not be a fancy setup, but it works for me because I do so many shots, and this is the best way for me to go in and out. And let's say we're doing another shot where the food is elevator, I'll bring another can of cat food, put the food on top, so there will be kind of like different dimensions. So that wraps up my first ever YouTube video as well as kitchen tour. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to click a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys like it. I post new recipes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my Instagram as well as TikTok and my blog. And I post a YouTube video every Sunday for the whole month of July and August. So make sure to check those out as well. Comment down below what you guys want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!